Hello, I'm here with Hester Prynne. It's very nice to meet oh so charming and beautiful Hester Prynne. How are you doing today?
I'm good, thank you for asking.
Okay, let's start. Our audience and staff here has a few questions for you. So, to start off, how did you feel when you were first standing on the scaffold?
It was a really emotional experience for me. I had a lot of memories going through my head, and I was playing back everything that had happened to me, and that led me to have to stand there and for me to be so tortured with guilt and shame. Some people looked so cold, like I had done something so terrible, and they looked like they just wanted to get rid of me. Nobody seemed to accept me, and I was alienated from the rest of the community. All I had was my baby Pearl there to hide the symbol of disgrace from the view of the people. I was really guilty for what I had done and really uncomfortable with all the eyes and the palm square and just glaring negatively at me.
Well, I am so sorry you had to go through all of that. You seem like such a strong woman for being able to just go through everything that happened to you, right? I hope this isn't too personal, but we're all wondering why you committed adultery.
Although I was married to Chillingworth, he left to work and discovered new things, and for 2 years I was left alone, and I felt like I had to move on. It was a huge mistake. I thought he was dead by the time he came back, and I hadn't heard anything from him, so I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. I just felt that I was moving on.
I totally agree with you. You need to sort of justify it. I'm sorry that they were so hard on you back in the day. Who was that man in the jail early on? Ooh, girl, you be flirting up a storm.
Well, it turns out that man was my husband. I didn't know it was him because he had changed so much since I saw him. He didn't age well. Well, we weren't really flirting, but he did help me take care of Pearl, who was pretty sick, and he told me that he'd find a man who was the father of my Pearl, and would take revenge upon me.
Wow. You didn't even recognize your own husband. Here's a personal question. Were you upset when you had to kill him?
I should slap you for that.
Please, I'm sorry.
I love my Pearl like there's no tomorrow. She's like my life, and she changed me for the better. I admitted I was a little mad at first because she was a child that I had through an evil act. I thought she was a devil. She would even throw flowers at my scarlet letter. Although Pearl was a bit of an impish child, she became my best friend. She loved me as much as I loved her, and she was a constant reminder of helping shape me into a better person, and a constant reminder of the dreadful sin I committed. Long story short, I love my Pearl as she loves me, and I couldn't ask for a better child.
My goodness, about that deep. Hashtag mother and daughter forever. By the way, what was it like moving into a different house on the outskirts of town?
I felt like I needed to be alone, and me and Pearl were the only people who mattered to me. It was the best thing I could do, and I could reflect quietly and think about my mistakes and what I needed to do to improve. I didn't have anyone else in my life to help me, so I didn't need to be in town with all of the people who hated me. It was definitely a change going from a nicer house to a more shabby kind of cottage, but it was better for me and my daughter Pearl.
Ah. Could never get out of my classy mansion. I mean, look at this place. Good for you. Was it a hassle having too many in your life who didn't even get along, and in fact, one of them wanted to kill the other?
Well, it was definitely troubling, although I didn't really interact with either of them until later on in my life. But once that I knew Roger was at the throat of Dimsdale, ready to torture him endlessly, I was devastated and blindsided. I felt that I was the reason that made Chillingworth make his whole life about getting revenge upon Arthur. In the process, I had a wonderful daughter, and I could finally express my love for Dimsdale. The burden of the scarlet letter has been lifted off of my shoulders. I've become such a good person, and I can help others now. This whole thing has made me such a stronger person. It was all worth it in the end.
That was beautiful. Did you ever expect Pearl to have such a good life?
Well, I haven't really thought of that yet. That's a really good question. I'm really happy that I have a wonderful daughter and that she has a great life now, but I couldn't really expect it considering we didn't have a lot of money and the people in town didn't really like Pearl and thought that she was a devil child. I guess they did end up liking her at the end and they gave her a break.
She was a good kid, wasn't she? I think Pearl was quite lucky and fortunate to get such a great life in the long run. Be honest on this one. What was going through your mind when Arthur Dinkdale had died after this huge speech? What was your plan of action?
Arthur and I had finally realized that we loved each other. We completed each other. Arthur, Pearl, and I had a chance to get the life that we deserve, and that we planned on moving to the old world once again by ship. Unfortunately, Arthur's guilt took a physical toll on him, and he could not come with us. Pearl and I decided that the best thing to do would be to continue our journey without him. Although he wanted us to continue our journey without him. He wanted us to be happy. It ended up working out, although I went back to live my life in Boston and I was devoted to helping more people.
I'm sure your plan is a great option. Look where you are now. Start from the bottom now. You're here. Oh, we haven't talked that much about Chillingworth, have we? Was it hard to forgive him after all he had done to Arthur and you?
I hated him for quite a while. Chillingworth did nothing for me and Pearl. He left me all alone for 2 years in a place I wasn't even familiar with. And I didn't even know many people. When I found out that he was torturing poor Arthur, I had realized that it was truly my fault that Roger was seeking revenge because of what I had done with Arthur. Roger was the innocent one, and it was really hard for me to forgive him once I came to my senses.
Yeah, that beach meeting really helped, didn't it? You guys remember now? Hester, you have been through so much. You have truly changed in these past years. Thank you for being here with us to share your experiences and the ups and downs of your life.
Thank you for having me. It feels great sharing all of my emotions and my story with everybody. Hello, I'm Georgia Fudge Pie, coming at you live at We Speak Studios. I'm here with my home skillet, Arthur Dimsdale, on We Speaks. Arthur, how are you today? How's my little saint? It's great to have you.
I'm doing alright. Thanks for having me. It was quite good.
Alrighty, let's get right to this. Let's start off heavy. Were you guilty because you had relations with Hester?
It was a pain to my heart. Hester was a married woman, and while I blamed myself for making her walk up the scaffold with Pearl and making them suffer, this put a toll on me for many years. I had even once gone far enough to split myself.
How could you ever hurt yourself like that? Okay, next question. Can you sum up your relationship with Chillingworth?
Oh, that Chillingworth. He was a leech. A lying skunk bag. He had made it his life goal to seek revenge upon me. At first, I thought he was a kind, caring soul. I knew he was. But as the years went by, he made it his life purpose to torture me. who was my physician. Despite wanting to kill me, he still took care of me. He tried to find out what made my soul turn black. He wanted to help me. He really did. But he just ended up going wrong.
Oh, what a jerk. Besides Chillingworth, how did you feel about Pearl?
Well, Pearl is my child. She will always be my favorite. I love Pearl almost as much as I love Hester Crane. It pained my heart to see that once Hester and I were together again, Pearl was quite jealous. She didn't want to be with us. It wasn't until I said I would stand with her in glory of my dying side that she finally gave me a kiss on the cheek, which symbolized her love for me. She became a sick critic in love with me.
That was beautiful. It's amazing how much you love your daughter and what you would do for her. After coming back from your little retreat, how did you change?
The world around me was so different. Once Hester and I had arranged plans to leave town, I felt I could do whatever I wanted. It felt as if a sin had been placed inside of me. I felt a sense of relief, as if something had been lifted upon my shoulders. I even went as far to burn my old sermon speech and make a new one. That was when I confessed who I really was.
Who knew you can change so much in just one trip? Why did you go on the scaffold in the middle of the night? Seriously, wasn't that a little creepy?
Well, at the time it seemed like a very good idea. It wasn't really for anybody but myself. That was my way of taking all my guilt and finally standing on the scaffold where I truly belonged. It was sort of a bad idea, now that I realized Chillingworth was stalking me in the night and people were just going to see the governor's grave. But it did take a huge burden off my shoulders, and Pearl, Hester, and I were reunited at last, ready to stand up on this campus.
It really does make sense to me now. I would have done the same exact thing. When did you finally love Hester?
Oh, Hester. She's beautiful in every single way. From the start, I really thought she was perfect. When I got to know her better, she's such a strong and sympathetic woman. Whenever I talked to her, she made me feel happy again. She made me a better person and lifted the guilt off my shoulders. When I found out Chillingworth was her husband, I was a little shocked, but Hester said that we were both good people, which is the truth, and we were forgiven in God's eyes. She hated Chillingworth, and I felt magnificent. That's how I knew I wanted to run away with her and spend the rest of my life with Hester and Pearl.
It's great to know that you and Hester helped each other through such a tough time, and you really found true love. I'm sure we're all wondering, why did you change your sermon message?
I realized they chose me, of all church members, to say the election sermon, one of the most honorable jobs of any churchgoer. I knew I had to finish with a bang and a great message to all the lovely people in our town. I figured that since I was leaving town after my retreat, I had no choice but to tell the truth once and for all. I knew all of my guilt would be gone and I could finally show everyone who I really was. It was the right thing to do. I could be myself and confess to all those and send them a real message of what they should do. That was my final speech, and it was important to end my career by giving people one last, dear, true message.
What a great choice. I wouldn't have the guts to go out there and pour out my heart and my soul to all of those people. You even knew that you were going to be persecuted for that sin you did. You're such an honorable man, Mr. Dimmesdale. Why, were you comfortable being around Hester even though she had a sign of sin marked right on her chest?
Times I did feel embarrassed to be around him. I was just a good priest. I wasn't supposed to have committed or even been around someone who had done such a terrible act of lust. I didn't want people to think that I was involved with her, even took a part in this whole scandal. Later on, I realized this was all my fault. I should have taken responsibility for my actions, and I shouldn't have been embarrassed to talk to her. I committed the same wrong, and secretly, I had an A under my shirt too. I was guilty of homicide.
Who knew anyone could ever feel this way? Here's a little bit of a secret question. What went on in the forest?
The meeting in the forest resolved everything that had happened beforehand. Hester and Pearl planned on meeting me after my little retreat. On my way home, they had found me in the forest. Pearl had been finally into her real environment, nature. It was just as wild as she was. Hester and I had finally confessed our love, and we no longer felt guilty for our sins. We knew exactly what we had to do. Literally, Hester ripped the air off her chest, and Pearl was to go with us. Although she was a little distant, the talk was exactly what we needed.
That's very nice that you resolved your conflicts after such a hard period of your life. After going through your epic speech, Pearl had given you a kiss on the cheek. How did you feel about that?
To put it simply, I felt relieved. For a long time, Hester and I had thought that Pearl was a bit mischievous, or impish rather, and that she could not love or care for me, but only for Hester. We felt that she could only do bad in others and not feel bad for them. When she finally gave me a peck on the cheek, all of my fears for the future were gone. At last, I was at peace. Pearl had accepted me as her father, and truly did love me and care for me. By doing this, Pearl had become a kind, caring woman, just like her mother.
Wow, well, it was really nice talking to you. Thank you so much for being on my show and coming here to talk to all of these people. It was such a pleasure having you and sharing your points of view with us.
Thank you for having me. I finally told all my stories to the whole world. Oh, God, it's really Ah!
Arthur!
You can get that out. Mom, you left it
What if I just had my brothers run and make like dinosaur noises and that'd be so funny. Like the whole class would die.
Yeah,
Like
let's
out of
do
nowhere
it.
it would just be like
Let's do it. Talk about family feuding, right? Or not so much family. I mean, do you wish that none of this would have happened? I mean, personally, I couldn't deal with all of this.
this was both a blessing and a curse. I have gone through so much trouble, people harassed me, I was isolated from society. I felt that everything was my fault.
Just pause for 5 minutes.
And I couldn't have asked for a better child. Better.
Okay. Okay, can you say I couldn't have asked for a better child again?
Who knew you could changed so. Did you do that?
No, yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Oh.
Dude.
I'm gonna even see.
Oh, there's a pain in my heart. Oh.
Arthur! Somebody call! 911!
Let's try that again. I'm having a pain. Oh!
Arthur! Somebody call 911!
Where should I die though?
Well, it was a really emotional experience for me. I had like a lot of emotions going through my head, and I was playing back.
I think I died.
Oh, you messed me
Sorry.
up because I thought you were saying move back or something.
No. Okay.
Where?
I look like a ghost.
Where's the effect of it?
Be honest on this one. What's going through your head? Yeah. Okay, where do I start? Be honest on this one. What's going through your head? Okay, let's try that again. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, no, just say
Are
your
you
last
kidding me?
line. What? Just say your last line one more time. Oh. God, it's hurting. Oh!
Arthur! Okay, ended. That was good.
You said that so high though.
I know.
Why is it still recording?